Did you leave your covert narcissistic relationship just to attract a covert narcissist? Rain, what is the difference between an overt narcissist and a covert narcissist? And how does one avoid jumping from an overt to a covert narcissistic relationship?
Well, so I have no doubt that so many people have left an overt narcissist to only go for a covert narcissist. So I'm just going to first talk about this because this is really important, because I did it myself. And then after years, I started to search and I discovered a lot of knowledgeable people who know narcissism and who actually practice, their therapists and psychologists, have fallen into the same trap. So this doesn't mean any of us are idiots. It just simply means that it's not highly detectable to know what a covert narcissist is after experiencing an overt narcissist. So what is the difference between an overt and a covert? Basically, an overt narcissist is someone who defines themselves, that you get to feel around an overt narcissist. They're a little louder. They're more extroverted. Let's just use it that way to simplify. So overts are more extroverted, right? They're more in your face. They're more obvious. They speak a lot about themselves. They share about how great they are. Yes, they put others down and how others see them as these wonderful people. And like, look at me. Wow. When I did this thing, everyone said how fabulous I was. Like, so they really sit and exaggerate self so much in front of others. That's the basic idea of overt narcissism. Overt is like obtuse. I am here. See me. Love me. Look at how great I am. Look at how pretty I am. How beautiful I am. Whatever sex it is, they're very in your face. Okay. Now, once you are in a relationship with an overt narcissist, it is so hard to assume that you'd ever get into another narcissistic relationship because you only think this is what narcissism looks like. And this was the big shock of my life when I first married an overt narcissist that was so in my face, that was so clearly something was really wrong. And then I dove right into a covert narcissist. Why? Because the covert narcissist is the complete opposite. What we usually do when we end a relationship, we look for the opposite. So I had severe pain with this kind of being. This was how they looked. This is how they acted. Therefore, I will take the opposite of that. Then the opposite of that must be a lot better. That's a natural, every human being, right? It just happens all the time. We go for the opposite of what didn't work or what hurt us too much. But when we decide to do the opposite, then we're naturally only going to attract a covert narcissist. Why? Because it's the same feeling. Now, the covert narcissist is very different. They are known to be they're shyer. Let's just say that they're introverted. So if we're going to use extrovert for that, these are really big definitions because they're not always extroverts and not always introverts. These are just big definitions to clarify. The covert narcissist is more introverted. Okay. They don't sit and flaunt about who they are and what they do and how great they are and how everybody saw them. They don't do that dance. They do a very different dance. Their dance is, my life, poor me. I was in a relationship. She was this. I did my best for her to love me. I did everything for this and she couldn't get it. They're more of the victims. They feel less about their worth. They're not as capable, you're like, oh, they're simpler, and they kind of want your advice, or they seem more helpless in a sense where you're there like supporting and helping and all this stuff. With the overt narcissist, they're not looking for your support or help, right? Because they know better. They always know better. But the covert narcissists are very in a more victim-y state, okay? That's the difference. So when we want to go from one to the other, of course, we want the opposite. Now we want the kind person. We're looking for, oh my God, who's nice? Who's nice? Who's nice? Covert narcissist. Why does this happen? Because there's something within us that hasn't healed yet. When we go from one pain, we start to look for the opposite of this pain, but we haven't dealt with the pain inside. We haven't understood what is happening within our bodies to understand the difference between these two. Now, they have the same plateau. You're going to only know through you. They have the same sense of entitlement. Okay? Like if it's about their victim story, they're entitled to speak about it. You're not as entitled to speak about your victim story. It's a murky water. They both have exactly the same thing. They feel entitled. You get this feeling of they're entitled. They get their way. They're great at manipulating. They're great at gaslighting. They're great at projecting. They take no responsibility for anything that's happening. The covert narcissist will pretend to take responsibility every once in a while, but the words are not truly profoundly, I am so sorry, right? It's kind of a little murky. You don't feel the full impact of it. Somehow you two are in the mix of the story, right? So it's the same thing. They're both entitled. They both don't take responsibility. One will blatantly tell you, no, you're the crazy, it's not me, blah, blah, blah. Go check with the doctor. You got to heal yourself. There's something wrong with you. The covert, though, on the other hand, may take a bit of responsibility, but you're part of this. You do it too. You did it then also. You do the same because they're the victim. They're always the victim of situations and circumstances. They're the victim of life. So how could they take full responsibility? They cannot. But why do we get attracted to them? Because they are a victim. Because we think because they're a victim, they can't hurt us. But at the same time, they do exactly the same thing. They stonewall, they give the silent treatment. They all these traits look very different, but they offer exactly the same emotional feeling inside. So when I was going through it the second time, not knowing that it was a covert narcissist, I felt the same way I felt with the overt. The only difference is externally, it was very different. But I felt I was going crazy. I felt there was something wrong with me. No matter what I said and how I said it, this person simply couldn't fully understand it. And unlike the overt, the covert will pretend they understand it. Well, they really, narcissists do really get it. They just play stupid because they can get away with things when they're playing stupid. But in general, the covert narcissist will be like, yeah, let's have this talk. But then they get really pissed really fast. Right. And then all of a sudden it turns around and it's a word salad and it's projecting. And then you are part of this blame game. And all of a sudden it's like, okay, I'll take my responsibility version and you'll take yours. And now we're equal in this. Okay. And then they'll leave. So now it isn't just fully them apologizing for what they have done or take responsibility for them. Right. That is the covert narcissist. Not easy to detect, but you feel the same way inside. You feel less of yourself. You know that you cannot talk about your life as often as you'd like to, or about yourself or your thoughts or your aspirations or your dreams. You know that's off the table. Okay? You know it's off the table. So all of a sudden, both of them are not interested in you. One will pretend to be interested, but they're the victim of life. So they're more interested in their victimhood. One will blatantly tell you, we're really not interested in what you're saying, right? So they're the same thing. You are the detector. Okay. So when I was going around looking I'm like, oh my God, then it must be me. Then my overt narcissist must have been right to have such a hard time with me. Even this guy is having a hard time living with me. So it must be me. It must be me. He's having such a hard time living with me, talking to me, being interested in what I say when before he used to be really be interested. So it's like you start to get confused. These are the signs. I'm confused. So please watch. After this, go watch the 6 signs that you are with a narcissist. I think it's we don't have an episode on it, but it's our Sunday show. Go watch that one if you want to know more about these signs that you're going to go through. So definitely you're going to feel insecure. Definitely you're going to start being really confused about your sanity. All of a sudden you're going to stop losing trust in your intuition. You're kind of going to start having a separate life from them. Like once you burn out from it, you're kind of in a state of like, you know what, then fine. I'll live my own life in a certain way, right? And we'll find common ground. With a covert narcissist, you start with an overt and a covert, you start giving up on who you are and you start being really interested in their lives. Why? Because you want to have companionship. Now, what's interesting is the same platform is I'm confused. I don't know who I am. I've lost touch of myself. All of a sudden, all your friends, your close friends are not that close unless you really did want to spend quality time with your narcissist, the narcissist will always give you the opposite. If you want quality time with them, do things with them, have fun with them, they will push you away. If you don't want quality time with them and you still want to go out and have fun, they will pull you in and cut off your friends. So it just depends on your personality. So it's not one glove fits all. It basically, the one glove that fits all is everything you want, they do not give you. And everything you don't want and you've expressed that you don't want, they give you so much of. So you're constantly receiving all the things that you've explicitly explained how much you don't want. But at the same time, everything that you've said, like, I love this, or this is what I adore, they'll give you peanuts of those. They won't give it to you. They won't just give it to you. Like a normal human being will just, hey, this is what you want, I'll give it to you. Here, No, they'll give it to you. So they both kind of do the same thing. Okay, so when you are in an overt narcissistic relationship, before you hop into any relationship, spend time getting to heal your wounds from that relationship, the traumas that happened in your body. Remember, the neurons of your brain have connected in a completely strange way after being manipulated and gaslighted and projected on for so many years, right? You need to rewire those neurons. You need to rewire them so that they're firing correctly, so that there is coherency between the mind, the heart, and the body, right? Because this is a complete disconnect from self. Don't jump into anything. Don't go looking for the person that's really kind and wallpaper and the easy guy, because you're going to only attract the same thing, because the broken part of you, the broken part of you is the one searching. Okay? That broken part of you after a narcissistic relationship is the one part of you that needs you back. Doesn't need another person, needs you back. So give yourself that space. Trust me, this happens to a lot more people than it's being shared in the world today. It happens, and a lot of people do not know they are in a covert narcissistic relationship after the overt. They do not know, and it takes another 30 years for them to figure it out. But all the time, they've been going to therapy. They've been healing themselves. They've been thinking that they're wrong. It's very normal. Just be more aware. I hope this answered the question, Mel.
Yeah, that was perfect. That was perfect. Okay, so you guys please hit the thumbs up on this video if you like this video. That will help us. Subscribe for more great content. We're talking about a lot of things that align with this as well. So subscribe. Make sure you get our freebie. That's going to be in the description. It's 11 essential questions for self-discovery. We also have our Buy Me a Coffee link in the description as well, where we've got lots of really cute jewelry, and we have ebooks and e-guides to help you on your journey of self-discovery that we're all on. These are some of the darling earrings that I'm wearing right now that you can see that you can get. There's like a ton of earrings and bracelets and necklaces. So go check it out. And then make sure to comment. We love connecting with you guys. So I would love to hear in the comments if any of you have experience with that. Maybe you have experience going from I always have to think about this, a overt narcissist into a covert narcissist relationship. Or let us know if you're like, I didn't even know that overt was a thing, but I hope we're educating you on that so you know about it and you can steer clear from that. So anyways, make sure to check this link right here with that video that she was talking about. Just click on that so you can watch that and get more information about this as well. And we'll just see you on the next episode.